Welcome to this episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. I'm Eric.
And I'm Angie.
We are married with a ton of kids.
We have 6 kids total. He has 3 and I have 3.
My name's Hallie and I love riding horses.
I'm Lexi and I love agriculture.
My name's Carter and I love eating.
My name's Chase and I love lifting weights.
My name's Summer and I love spending my parents' money.
I'm Dane and I love baseball.
Our show is about our blended, blessed, and always a mess life. And our hope is if you find yourself in the same situation we are in, that by sharing our story, all the fun and all the mess, the challenges we are experiencing, it will give you some inspirations, laughs, and community, knowing you are not alone in this mess.
We appreciate you spending time with us. Let's dive in.
This episode is brought to you by Sevens Boutique, an online shop created by 2 sisters, Angie and Jess, who believe you should walk boldly, dress divinely, and know your significance. At Sevens, you'll find easygoing pieces that are cozy, classy, and made to mix and match. Think relaxed pants, cozy sweaters, and lifestyle sets you'll want to live in. Every item is handpicked with purpose, so you can shop confidently, dress comfortably, and walk boldly. Inventory is small and curated, so if you see something you love, don't wait. Visit sevensboutique.com and use the code PODCAST10 for 10% off your first order. www.sevensboutique.com. Walk boldly, dress divinely, know your significance.
Welcome to this week's episode of Blended, Blessed, and Always a Mess. We are smack dab through the middle of October at this point, which is kind of crazy that it's going by this fast. And just thought we would chat a little bit about Angie and how she is using the month to fill her cup. Because we know from the past couple of years, since we lost Hallie, like it gets pretty difficult November, December, sometimes January. I mean, it's different all the time. And so I do think it's you're always trying to figure out how can I do life the best way I can do it. And so to do some things that are filling you up during the month of October is a good thing to be doing.
It's funny how things just sort of happen, right? It just so happens that October tends to be a lot of goodness for us, and we absolutely had no control over it. For example, last week we had the 3rd annual scholarship donor dinner for the Mizzou Kaffner program. And as you guys know, if you've been listening for a while, but so for the new people, we have an endowed scholarship in Hallie's name that we created shortly after she passed away. It was really amazing. Honestly, you had to raise $50,000 to be an endowed scholarship. And the program, I remember them saying, like, even if it takes you like a year or two, we can still give scholarship awards in the fall. And I think it was like 4 months and we had $50,000, and now she will forever have a scholarship in her name. And so I think one year it might have been September, late September. Then last year it ended up being the exact same time that I had my Grit with Grace event. So I couldn't go last year, but Chase went in my spot. And then this year, I was actually in Chicago that morning, but then was able to get back for the dinner and we had everybody go. So it was the first time for Summer, and Chase went again. And just, it's painful beauty. I mean, there's no other way to say it. You're there because your daughter died, but you're also there because you can forever honor her every year and help other young females get a little closer to their goal with being in animal science. So this year, the 2 ladies are both seniors at Mizzou, and they'll know in the spring if they are in the vet program. And it's just neat to experience that. And it is definitely cup filling for all of us. And then, of course, we walk past the wall that in Memorial Union where they have the Mizzou Remembers wall with anyone that had attended Mizzou or worked at Mizzou that had passed away.
That hits me whenever I see it.
Oh, I know her name. It's like when you see the words and her name on this wall. There's something about writing things down. There's something about seeing it permanently somewhere. I mean, it's the same thing with a headstone. But, we knew we'd come to a point where the girls that were receiving the scholarship didn't know Hallie. So the first 2 years, the girls knew Hallie. They'd either had a class with her, or they knew of her. So this year I didn't even ask because it's been almost 3 years. But the irony of it is that my niece, Brooklyn, goes to Mizzou and she's now going into animal science. And so this one class you feed at the barns, and they actually knew my niece. So it's just kind of a cool, still sort of a family connection. So I just still want to just thank everybody that donated right after we lost Hallie. And sometimes, people still donate. We had one the other day of just a super great human that randomly decided they were going to donate to her scholarship fund. And just so many people made it happen. And it's always heartwarming to know that people care, right?
Yeah. And I mean, I feel like that dinner, I do love how they kind of change it up just a little bit every year, but it is definitely to see, yes, the memoriam, but also like as it scrolls through and you see the winners and Hallie Phillips Memorial Scholarship throughout the event, it is a good reminder, like we say, like you say all the time, say their name. For me, that's what I love about the dinner is that, people are still saying her name. And again, as we've talked about before, the Mizzou Catheter program has been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
You guys, Jesse and yourself, had a really fun, big, soul-filling, cup-filling event last weekend. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait for you to do another one because while, yes, a lot of work, it was amazing and a lot of fun for you guys to have your first big pop-up with Seven's Boutique.
Yeah, so the dinner was Thursday night, and then Friday evening we set up for this event, and Sunday we had our first pop-up, and you have no idea what to expect. I mean, we don't know what we're doing. Sure. You have no idea. But what I would say is I keep going back to living with purpose, and in my mind, I have this vision of this place where women are connected with each other, where we get to share the things that we're passionate about, which is style, it's fashion, it's shopping, it's putting on that new outfit that you feel super confident in. But it's really most importantly about creating that community of women to build each other up and to know they matter and that they're significant. And what better way to connect is to create this space and this great energy and vibe. And we've previously just been online. And so it's kind of hard to connect that way versus actually like seeing people. So it was a lot of work. We had a few stressful moments, but it was a great day. And I think a couple of things that were my favorite things, my takeaway from it is that it's the first time that I've created a business where my kids are a part of it. And so I think that's cool to kind of work alongside each other a little bit and just sort of see them grow or them to see how things work and how you show up and the effort that you're putting in. Jesse's girls, Summer was with me most of the day, but then at the end, Chase came and helped us load things back up. And my mom was there. My mom too was just like, it was so cool to see her grandkids, but like the cousins all working together. So I really just sort of soaked in that moment of just seeing that all sort of play out. And then I think the other thing is I loved seeing the moms walk in with their daughters. And that literally just like made my heart smile. I mean, at the same time, knowing I will never have that with Hallie again. And there was a lot of times we enjoyed our days together, but I appreciate seeing that. And I love seeing it's a Sunday afternoon and you're together with your family because those little moments of like, hey, let's go to this little pop-up, like that matters. That matters. You're not going to get that time back again. You're not going to get that moment back again. And so it was just, that whole part was just good for my heart. And Jesse and I were completely exhausted that night. I mean, I was driving back like, oh my God. I don't know if I shared it on the podcast, but I had someone message me and was like, oh, I didn't know you quit your job at Worldwide. And I'm like, oh no, like, what do you mean? Like, I work full time. I do this shit for fun. Like, like, what's wrong with me? Like, and I was telling Jessie that because she also still has her full-time job, obviously. And it's not like you're making money on this. This is like something that's fun and creating this purpose. And anyway, she's like, oh no, there's something wrong with this. We just like work all the time. But it was like a good exhausted feeling though, because you like have this momentum, you're building up to something, you have some sort of expectation, but there's uncertainty, and you don't know, you have no control over what's going to happen. And then when you walk away and your cup's filled, but you've all this energy, it just sort of releases, and you're just like, oh my gosh, that was such a great event. So many ways. There was a new little coffee shop that opened up the week before, and the sweet owner, she opened up for us on Sunday because she's not open on Sundays. And it was just like this like little vibe of women coming together and supporting each other.
Yeah, you know how that is. Like you put all that in, and then the exhaustion, the sheer exhaustion at the end of it is like body just says time to stop.
Yeah,
so
it's time for you to go to bed.
You gotta rest.
I don't care what time it is.
That's right.
And then next week, I know this. So none of this stuff we really have control over. I mean, we knew we needed to do a pop-up. We found a date. We can't control when the dinners are for the scholarship. And then next week, I have my 4th annual Grit with Grace event that is just it's such a refueling event too. It's powerful. This one's even bigger than the ones I've had before. And it's just all these leaders from our customers all coming together at a beautiful place with a powerful speaker. And it's just this community coming together with this community of women. And it is like you're on a high. And we had a kind of a prep meeting today, and I had someone share, like, she had attended the very first one and hasn't been since. And she's going to the 4th one. And she was like, I literally was like on a high for weeks after that. For weeks, it filled my cup.
Which is what you wanted from that event when you created it in your mind years ago. And I have loved watching you at this event because this was something that you came up with around the time we got married, and it has just flourished and flourished and flourished. Mm-hmm. So super excited whenever it happens each year. And so for you to be able to fill these other women's cups the way that they're reaching out to you is amazing.
Yes. And it just so happens that at the same time, it's also a Dallas market. So it's the first time being able to go to that. And so that's also, I mean, who doesn't love to shop?
I mean, some people more than most. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. And then I also.
My money. Is that what you said?
What'd you say?
Did you say it's not even my money? I couldn't hear you.
It's really not like, it's not like it really is. You're not, you don't have to balance this checkbook or anything like that. So you don't even have to worry about it. You don't even have to worry about it.
You have fun.
Yes. Well, then also next week, so there's like a third thing going on next week. I'm not able to attend this event, but I was nominated for a WOC STEM Technology Award and ended up winning that. So I'm actually supposed to be in Baltimore to attend that event, but I couldn't do it. Couldn't do all the things. So I'm not going
for you to go around.
No, I'm not going to Baltimore. Too much stuff. But I say all these things.
Well-deserved win. So congrats.
Thank you. I say all these things to say that somehow I think God orchestrates all of this in October to try to fill my cup, to sort of refuel me and make sure that I go into November not completely drained. And, there's also a few other things like Mert, who was Hallie's best friend, just shared that her and her boyfriend have created this business to board and train horses because she's amazing at it. She crossed paths with Hallie when she bought Hallie's heart horse, Nikki, and she still has Nikki. And she just surprised us with like, hey, this is the name of my business. It's HP Performance Horses, so that Hallie's memory is like carried on. And she created this really cool brand for horses, and it's H and a P with a little cross. And at some point she will train Phoenix. Just got to coordinate that out of timing and all of that. But I would love for Phoenix to be branded with HP on her. I mean, it's just so cool that it's another thing that really just makes my heart full, knowing that Hallie touched people's lives and they're honoring her in so many cool ways. Also, the following week, after next week, so all of these Grit with Grace and the market, the following week, I was asked to speak on a grief panel for Mizzou. It's with their occupational therapy class, but she has a couple different people joining that have experienced different types of loss and talking through grief with these students. I'm like, I would be so honored to be able to share the path of grief and how it impacts people's lives in order to be able to help people that are in that type of field, whether, occupational therapy, you could be, trying to navigate a loss of a limb or any sort of trauma like grief. I think that's a thing too. I mean, like I've said it a million times, everyone goes through grief. I mean, you could grieve a life you thought you were going to have. Maybe it's through a divorce, losing best friends or your job. Like, I just don't think we talk about it enough. Like, how do you navigate those things? I think people think, oh, well, I just shouldn't feel better. Like, how do I get rid of this feeling? It's like, no, you have to feel it. And so I think it's so important when you have gone through trauma, and I'll steal a phrase from the podcast you were just recently a guest on, trauma with a capital T.
Big one.
That you recognize and think about like what's ahead. Like, and obviously I'm never going to forget November ever. But now I'm like recognizing this pattern that I kind of have to beef up in October. Like, God's in control of so much. He's like prepared October to be this, like, I'm going to fill your cup because shit's about ready to get bad. It's going to get hard. So armor up, fuel up, get strong in your prayer life because it's coming. And I also, like I was saying about this today when I was thinking about the podcast, is that it's almost like that process you go through where when you're expecting a baby and you start nesting, like you just have this natural instinct that you need to be prepared. You need to wash all the things. You need to get organized. You need to pack your bag. You need to get ready because your body is like intuitively telling you stuff's going to change and you got to get ready. Now, the reality is there's no way in hell you can be prepared for what it's like to have a baby. Or when you bring that baby home, you have no idea. You're really not in control and you got to figure it out. It's the same thing when you're like preparing for some sort of milestone. It's like, okay, what do I need to do to prepare? Yeah. And I've got to make sure I'm taking time for myself. I think I just shared this with you too. Like, I have this like sort of instinct where I feel like I need to really lock in on taking care of myself and like setting boundaries and saying no to things. And you know what? I might need a massage. I just sort of have this like intuition that I need to prepare.
I can do that. Yes.
You can do what?
Give you the massage. Is that not?
Oh, I think you misunderstood what I was saying.
Oh, okay. I'm just trying to show up for you well and help.
I was more talking about a spa.
Okay. All right. All righty.
Do you work at one?
Me?
Oh, okay.
I can draw you a bath. I'm good at that.
Yeah, I will. That's on the list.
Noted. All right.
But your body, you're trying to like prepare for reliving the hell. And it's like this weird time lapse that you go through. You relive all of it in this like deep grief and ache. And yeah, I mean, I have no idea what November is going to be like. I know it's going to suck because it's right during Thanksgiving. So you have to go through Thanksgiving with those milestones. Thanksgiving this year is the day that she got shot. And then 2 days later is the Thanksgiving at my mom's. That's usually a big deal. Also, the year that it happened, the next day is when she actually got shot. So it's this connection. That's the last time everybody saw her alive. was at my mom's Thanksgiving. And so the day she died this year is the same day my mom's having Thanksgiving. So there's just dread with all of that. And I'm trying to think about for year 3, what do we want to do? Like, how can we honor her? I have a few ideas of what we could possibly, what we could do. But I think for me, where I'm going with all of this, there's a point to it all, I promise. For me, I think I've just kind of come to a point. People always say the second year is the hardest. And I believe that. I believe that is the hardest. I've told several people recently that have lost kids or went through something traumatic is like, year 2 is the hardest because I think it really settles in your bones, like in the depths of your core. I think year 1, you're in fight or flight mode. Like you don't even know what the hell's happening. You somehow are surviving, but you're not processing. Year 2, it is like sinks deep in your bones. It's hard to imagine, but on your insides, it feels like there's just this depth to it. And it is like settles there, and it's this deep darkness, I feel like, that is so hard to come out of it because it's this reality sets in. You're like, this is my life forever. Like, it's never going to go away. And I think for me, I totally relate to that. I think, yes, year 2 was the hardest. I think for me, I just kept going, like, I got to do these things. I got to find purpose. I got to keep fighting for her. I've got to do all these things. And I have recently kind of recognized that I don't ever stop pushing myself. And it's becoming really hard to keep forging ahead. And Eric and I have been walking a lot, and, we're always talking. And I've just shared with him multiple times, like, podcast is a lot for me. It's a lot for me because I pour my heart and soul into it to try to have a meaningful topic every week with everything else that I am juggling. And I feel like I haven't been doing my best at that. And I'm just kind of like drained. And I've tossed the idea around to Eric, like, should we go to every other week? Should we do like once a month? Should we pause it? Like, we're in this season of us. And I keep talking about like the quiet coffee era, and I'm craving that. But at the same time, I don't want to stop connecting with our audience and sharing our life. And so we're just kind of in this, like, what do we do? Something at some point has to give.
It's been a lot of conversation that we've been having. It's really difficult, right? Because we've poured a lot into this for 4 seasons. It's allowed us to connect even at times when we weren't connecting well outside of here. It's allowed us to share growth with many people in the world that we would never have met otherwise. And so, yeah, it's a lot of hours every week. And with everything we have going on with the kids and with just trying to recharge our own batteries and coming into this difficult season, we've been tossing it around. Next week, we're excited because there's going to be a episode we're going to reshare from our church podcast I was just on. I was asked to join and talk about the sobriety journey that I've been on, the healthy lifestyle that I've been living. And it'll be different. It's different, I would say, than the conversation Angie and I had at my year of sobriety. Wouldn't you agree? It's a little bit different, right? So we're going to do that next week. And then we'll see what happens after that about doing another episode to kind of wrap this season of us, and then maybe taking a little bit of a break to get through this difficult season through the holidays and things like that. So, but we would like your feedback. I mean, if you're like, hey, we need you. We need you. Don't. I don't think that's going to happen. But if that was something, then let us know things that you think we should be talking about or you'd like to hear from us. We happily would welcome those things.
Yeah, the next couple of months are hard. 3 years, then it's Christmas, and then it's her birthday, and I don't know, just some quiet. I think would be good.
As I've said to Angie, for all of you who watch television shows, everyone takes a break and you get to see some reruns, okay? And it's so that people can recharge their batteries. we've been doing this almost weekly for 4 years with only a few breaks. So I know that she thinks that feels a little bit like failure.
Well, you just don't want to feel like you're letting people down, because we know we have some very dedicated listeners. And I would just love to hear from you all too, of like, what did you enjoy about our podcast? What's something that you've learned? And I think maybe our last episode, we could just share that goodness, share from our listeners, like what some of your favorite things are and just what you love about the podcast.
I love it. So that's kind of our current plan. And as Angie and I know, plans change. They're meant to change, and we are not in full control. So I would not be surprised if something did change, but that's kind of where we're at for now. What is something this week that you would like to pray for?
I think, oh gosh, I have a long list. I want to pray for my little niece, Charlie, was born early. Niece. She's a little, great niece. And she's a little tiny baby. So adorable, but just continue praying for her that she continues to grow. And my aunt, my godmother, who I've mentioned before, she's currently deep into physical therapy from her partial hip replacement. And she informed me she walked quite a few steps. So that's exciting, but she's got some recovery. So I just want to pray for her. And I don't know, I think just our listeners, if there's stuff that's heavy on your hearts, that you'll find some peace and some answer to your own prayers. I mean, I just know everyone's going through stuff. Everybody. Yeah. And it's just a lot. I mean, you and I walked tonight for almost 3 miles and had like 5 or 6 heavy things to talk about, of things of, either our kids are struggling with or friends, or just things have happened to us. And it's just hard. Yeah. Life's hard. Yeah. So I just want to pray for everybody out there that's going to bed, with a heavy heart.
Yeah, I think too. I just want to pray for all the people right now that are struggling. I see people who've recently lost children who I know are just right in the beginning stages of grief, and how hard and difficult that is going to be, that they're in that first year of just survival mode. Pray for each of our kids, because it feels like for the most part, they're good, but everybody's always going through something. And so praying for Lexi and Carter and Chase and Summer and Dane. And then Hallie's heavy on my mind these days. I mean, I've been talking to her a lot. So praying that God would let me continue to connect with him, connect with Hallie. And so praying for my own heart that I could find a way to de-stress, which has been, I know you're like, well, you walk. Yes, and that is my de-stressor. But once the walk's done, I'm right back to the stress. And so I've got to figure out how to let some of that go. So that'd be what I'd be praying for. You guys can pray for me in that regard as well. I'd appreciate it. Here's what Angie likes to do after we record a podcast. She likes to go just warm herself up all over, because she loves to be warm. So she's going to take a bath. She cooks herself in the bathtub. That's what she's going to do. I'm going to finish cleaning the kitchen and doing some laundry. So that's where we're at. But we hope that you guys
take a bath. You like to do laundry?
Do I like to do it?
I think you do. I think you actually do. I think you like things to be a certain way.
I like the way I do laundry. So then that's probably why I'm doing it. So that it's done the right way, air quotations. All right. Well, you guys have a wonderful week. We thank you for listening, and God bless.
Thank you for listening to Blended Blessed and Always a Mess. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and at blendedblessedalwaysamess.com.
Reach out to us on any of our social channels. We would love to hear from you. Have a great week.